Once upon a time, in a small village by the great rivers of the Niger Delta, there was a small boy named Jubo. His original birth name was Mbanaso Ozurumba. Born in the Igbo village of Umunduroha in 1821, Jaja, as he would later be fondly called, defeated the usual narrative of the domestic slave system around the southeastern part of Nigeria. He was a curious and clever boy who loved to sit by the riverside at night and talk to the stars. One day, he would say, "I would do something so big that even the stars would know my name." Jubo was not like other children. While the other boys played in the mud or fished in the rivers, Jubo was always asking questions. He wanted to know why the river flowed, why the trees grew so tall, and why the sun always rose in the east. The elders of the village, who were very wise, said that Jubo was special and that he had a great destiny waiting for him. But one day, something terrible happened. Fierce men from a faraway land came to Jubo's village. They were strong and cruel, and they captured Jubo and took him away from his home. The villagers cried and pleaded, but the men did not listen. They put Jubo on a big boat and took him to a place he had never seen before. Jubo was very sad and scared, but deep inside, he knew he had to be brave. He remembered what the elders had told him, that he had a great destiny. So even though he was now a slave, he never lost hope. The men took Jubo to a place called Boni in 1833, where he was sold to a rich merchant. The merchant was surprised at how smart Jubo was. He noticed that Jubo learned things very quickly. He called him Jaja, and Jaja soon became known to everyone in Boni. Jaja worked very hard and never gave up. He learned how to trade palm oil, a very precious liquid that everyone wanted. He learned how to speak many languages and how to make good deals. Soon, Jaja was not just a slave anymore. He became very important in Boni. People listened to him and they respected him. But not everyone was happy about Jaja's success. Some of the other traders were jealous of him. They tried to make life difficult for him, but Jaja was always one step ahead. He was clever and kind, and the people loved him. One day, Jaja decided that it was time to leave Boni. He wanted to create his own kingdom, a place where he could be free and where his people could live in peace. So with some of his loyal friends, Jaja left Boni and went to a new place by the river. There, he built a new village and called it Opobo. Jaja became the king of Opobo, and the people cheered for him. They were happy because they knew with Jaja as their king, they would be safe and prosperous. Opobo became a beautiful and rich kingdom. The people traded palm oil with other lands, and they had plenty of food and goods. King Jaja ruled with wisdom and kindness, and the people loved him even more. But in the deep forest around Opobo, there were spirits who were not happy with King Jaja's success. They were trickster spirits who liked to play tricks on people and cause trouble. They were jealous of how the people of Opobo were living in peace and happiness, so they decided to cause problems for King Jaja. The trickster spirits came to Opobo disguised as friendly traders. They brought gifts and sweet words, telling King Jaja that they wanted to make him even more richer and powerful. But King Jaja was wise. He had heard stories from the elders about spirits that could not be trusted. He knew that these traders were not what they seemed. Still, King Jaja welcomed them and listened to what they had to say. He wanted to find out what their true intentions were. The trickster spirit tried to confuse him with their tricky words, but Jaja was patient. He watched them carefully and waited for the right moment. One night, while everyone in Opobo was asleep, the trickster spirits decided to set a trap for King Jaja. They created an illusion of a beautiful golden crown, brighter than the sun, and placed it in the middle of the forest. They whispered in the wind, telling Jaja that the crown would make him the most powerful king in the world if he could find it. King Jaja woke up from his sleep and heard the whispers. He knew it was the spirits trying to trick him, but he decided to play along. He got up and with his walking stick went into the forest. The forest was dark and quiet, and the trees seemed to move on their own. But King Jaja was not afraid. He walked slowly, following the whispers, until he reached the place where the golden crown was. The crown was indeed beautiful, glowing with a magical light. But King Jaja was wise. He knew that true power did not come from crowns or riches. It came from the love and respect of his people. So, instead of taking the crown, he laughed out loud and said, "You cannot fool me, spirits. I know your tricks. My people are my true treasure." At that moment, the crown disappeared and the spirits revealed themselves. They were surprised and angry that their trick had failed. But they also had to admit that King Jaja was very clever and wise. They could not fool him, no matter how hard they tried. The spirits then decided to leave Opobo alone. They realized that King Jaja was too strong and too smart for their tricks. Many years passed, and Opobo continued to prosper and grow. But the trickster spirits, though they had been defeated once, were not done with King Jaja. They returned to the deep forest and plotted a new way to cause trouble. This time, they decided to use humans to do their work. They went to the British traders who were jealous of King Jaja's power and whispered lies into their ears. "King Jaja is too powerful," they said. "He's becoming a threat to your business. You must do something about him." The British traders, influenced by the trickster spirits, decided to trick King Jaja. They invited him to a meeting on one of the big ships, pretending it was a friendly gathering to discuss trade. But when King Jaja boarded the ship, they captured him and took him far away across the sea. The people of Opobo were heartbroken when they found out what had happened. They prayed to the spirits of their ancestors to bring back their king. But the trickster spirits were powerful, and King Jaja was taken to a faraway land. Even though King Jaja was taken away, his spirit remained strong. He never gave up hope, and he always remembered the love of his people. He knew that even if he could not return to Opobo, his legacy would live on. The people of Opobo continued to tell the story of their brave and wise king, passing it down from generation to generation. They built shrines in his honor and sang songs about his courage and wisdom. The spirits of the ancestors, seeing the love that the people had for King Jaja, decided to protect Opobo. They ensured that the kingdom remained strong and that the people continued to prosper. The trickster spirits, realizing that they could never defeat King Jaja's legacy, finally gave up and left the land for good. And so, the story of King Jaja of Opobo lived on. It was told to children as they sat around the fire, and it was sung by the riverside where Jaja once spoke to the stars. The people knew that as long as they remembered their king, he would always be with them, guiding them and protecting them from harm. For even though King Jaja was no longer there in body, his spirit watched over Opobo, keeping it safe and prosperous. And the people knew that the true strength of a king did not lie in riches or crowns, but in the love and loyalty of his people. King Jaja of Opobo was more than just a ruler. He was a symbol of resilience, wisdom, and the power of self-determination. Born as a slave, he rose to become one of the most powerful and respected leaders in the Niger Delta. His reign was marked by shrewd diplomacy, economic prosperity, and a deep commitment to the welfare of his people. But what happened to Opobo after King Jaja was exiled by the British in 1887? The story of Opobo after King Jaja's departure is one of struggle, resistance, and survival. It's a tale that shows how the spirit of a people can endure even in the face of overwhelming challenges. Though King Jaja was gone, his legacy continued to shape the destiny of the kingdom he had built. Jaja's exile was a devastating blow to the people of Opobo. The kingdom had thrived under his leadership, and his absence left a void that was difficult to fill. The British, having removed Jaja, sought to establish greater control over the region. They imposed new trade regulations, took over some of the trade routes, and attempted to undermine the authority of the local chiefs who had supported Jaja. Despite the challenges, the people of Opobo did not give up. They continued to resist British encroachments and fought to preserve their independence. The chiefs, who had been loyal to King Jaja, worked tirelessly to maintain the autonomy of the kingdom. Among them was Chief Ekpebide. He emerged as a key leader in the struggle against British control. Chief Ekpebide, like many others in Opobo, believed that the kingdom's strength lay in unity and self-resilience. He encouraged the people to continue trading independently, even in the face of British pressure. The people of Opobo remained defiant, refusing to allow the British to fully control their trade or dictate the terms of their economy. The British, frustrated by the continued resistance, resorted to more aggressive tactics. They began to station more troops in the region, and conflicts between the British forces and the people of Opobo became more frequent. Despite these hardships, the spirit of King Jaja's leadership lived on in the determination of his people. In the years following King Jaja's death, Opobo went through a period of decline as the British tightened their grip on the region. However, the kingdom's fortunes began to change as the people adapted the new realities of colonial rule. They found ways to work within the system imposed by the British while preserving their cultural identity and autonomy as much as possible. One significant development during this period was the rise of new leaders who were able to negotiate with the British while still representing the interests of Opobo. These leaders were often educated in Western schools but retained a deep connection to their roots and the legacy of King Jaja. They worked to modernize Opobo, adopting new technologies and methods that would help the kingdom thrive in the changing world. The people of Opobo also maintained their strong sense of community and tradition. They continued to honor King Jaja through annual ceremonies and festivals, keeping his memory alive and reminding themselves of their proud history. These cultural practices played a crucial role in maintaining the identity of the Opobo people and fostering a sense of resilience in the face of external pressures. As the 20th century progressed, the political landscape of Nigeria began to change. The struggle for independence from British colonial rule gained momentum, and the people of Opobo, like many other communities in Nigeria, were swept up in the movement for self-determination. The legacy of King Jaja inspired many in Opobo to take an active role in the fight for independence. In 1960, when Nigeria finally gained independence, the people of Opobo celebrated the end of colonial rule and the beginning of a new era. They saw it as a fulfillment of the dream that King Jaja had fought for, a dream of self-rule, dignity, and prosperity. Although the kingdom of Opobo was now part of the newly independent nation of Nigeria, the people continued to honor their unique heritage and the legacy of their great king. Today, the town of Opobo remains a vibrant community with a rich history and culture. The people of Opobo are proud of their heritage and continue to celebrate the legacy of King Jaja. His story is taught in schools, and his achievements are commemorated through statues, monuments, and annual festivals. The spirit of independence and resilience that defined King Jaja's reign still resonates in Opobo today. The community has continued to thrive, balancing tradition with modernity and maintaining a strong sense of identity in a rapidly changing world. Opobo's story is a testament of the enduring power of leadership, community, and cultural pride. It shows how a small kingdom, led by a visionary leader, was able to resist colonial domination and preserve its autonomy even in the face of great adversity. The legacy of King Jaja of Opobo continues to inspire not only the people of Opobo, but also all who hear his story. The history of Opobo after King Jaja is a story of determination and resilience. It's a story of a people who, despite the loss of their beloved king, continued to preserve their cultural identity. King Jaja's legacy lives on in the hearts of the Opobo people, reminding them of their strength, their heritage, and their place in the world. Through the struggles and triumphs of the years following King Jaja's exile, The people of Opobo have shown that the spirit of a community can endure even the greatest challenges. Their story is a powerful reminder of the importance of leadership, unity, and the unwavering pursuit of freedom and dignity. It became a legend that was told to children around fire, reminding them of the importance of kindness, wisdom, and unity. The people of Opobo never forgot their brave kings and the spirit who watched over them. And so, the kingdom of Opobo lived in peace and prosperity for many years, with the spirits of King Jaja guiding and protecting them from above. The stars that Jaja had once spoken to shone brightly over Opobo, watching over the land and its people who would always remember the legacy of their great kings. As we journey through the untold story of Opobo after King Jaja, we've witnessed a legacy of resilience and resistance. The spirit of Opobo lives on, reminding us that true power lies in unity and determination. Join us next time as we uncover more inspiring tales from African history. I'm sure you found this journey through history as captivating as we did. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible tales from Africa's past. Until next time, stay inspired. Bye!